can do it in my head, and then when I try, it's just like, this is harder than I thought it was going to be.
Beautiful inside. It's going to have to go. Can I use it?
Hello and welcome to our channel, Portugal on a Shoestring.
While the room's still quite a bit messy from bringing the ceiling down, what I thought to do is we'll get the cutout for the lintel done. This is where it's going to be. This is the lintel, corrugated steel, galvanised. I brought this over with me from UK. I couldn't tell you how much it costs now. But they're not, I know in the UK they're not dear, they're about 10 quid or something like that. But here you just can't get hold of them. Yeah, they tend to cast the concrete lintel in rather than using metal ones. That's going to go in there like that. And that's the height of the door is 2 metres. So we need to cut out a slot for that to slide into. There is actually a lintel in place higher up. So this is just supporting like 2 layers of bricks. So it doesn't have to be that strong anyway. I'm going to see if just a brick hammer will do this, because these are hollow tijolo blocks and they do break quite easily. So I've got a feeling I'm going to have to take these out anyway, put the lintel in and then build back up above them. As you can see, there's a big stone here that's resting on these two, which are cantilevered into the wall. So this is actually supported. But what we'll do, we'll put the lintel in and then we'll put bricks above it, just to fill in the gap and give it a little bit of extra stability. So we've cleaned up the cavity, got rid of all the loose rock and stuff like that. So we've got about 120mm either side. 150 would have been a little bit better, but 120 will be enough. It's only supporting like this area of brick. That is supported by the wall that actually forms an arch above it. We mixed up some 4:1 mortar and we're just going to bed in the lintel, let that go off, then we can build above it and take this out. Let's crack on. It's just bedded in there and bedded in over there. We'll give this 24 hours to go off and then we can start knocking this out and we'll get some blocks and build above. Yeah, we'll just leave it there.
Go get the gazelle. Yeah.
I need a gazelle.
The opener's up here.
It's so good, it's a screw top.
Screw top in Portugal. It took us a bit of time to work out how best to use the place.
Yeah.
And you know, it was this gazebo was brilliant. I mean, we first brought it over probably this time last year, wasn't it?
I'm in the middle of doing something, you think, have you been filming that?
I'm the same. I'm the same. No, I've just done it. I've just done the job.
Sometimes you just want to
I'll
get
do a
on with
summary
it and just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just takes twice as long to do anything if you want to film it.
It's an
My
acquired
feelings.
skill, and I've been quite acquired.
Yeah.
You do really well.
He's a lot more relaxed.
It's hard to be relaxed, isn't it?
Terrible.
I just sort of panic and just sort of go, He said to me when we were pulling that ceiling down last week, he went, well, you just try not to swear as much.
And it's like, when the children were young, you know, you kept trying to edit your speech, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
There's all kind of tiles falling on my head and that's hard not to swear.
It was a good laugh.
It was fun.
Well, I find I often do. If there's a nut or a bolt or something that's going to come out, I'll do
Yeah.
the first one
Yeah.
without the camera.
Yeah.
Just to sort of work out where I'm stood and how I'm. So, right, okay. Now I know that one comes out because I don't really want to sort of sit there and waste.
You don't want to look like an idiot.
Well, there is that. I think
I
I'll
mean,
be. I
we
think I'll be
might
on
do
that.
anyway.
I'll be
But
on that.
People love that anyway.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Look, the better
That's
it is.
I was one day went and just sat and read down a few and some of the lovely stuff
Yes.
people say.
Did you have a nice time with your daughter over?
Oh, it was fabulous.
I was very pleased to see you put her to work. You know,
oh god.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh, they don't get away with that.
Yeah. Sorry to see her go, actually. She was really helpful.
yeah.
I wish I had the energy.
Was that the first time she'd been?
No, she came last year. Her and her soon to be husband, they came and they just did all the land clearance for us, and it was just
Wow.
full of strimming
Because
and
it
everything.
was all like
It was all brambles
four,
and everything.
5 foot high brambles right the way across the field.
Oh God, they demolished it. It was brilliant. I wish I was 20 years younger.
Yeah. Well.
Just 20.
You're going to wish you weren't born soon.
You know, €2 wine, so good here,
Oh,
isn't
it's
it?
amazing. It's gorgeous.
Well, they do the boxes, don't they? And the
Yeah.
boxes, 5 litre boxes for $4.89 or something.
It's just unbelievable. Right,
Are you?
Go on, stuck in.
Ah,
yeah, you can do mine.
So the salmon was fillets, but it sort of ends up more
It's
like
called
lumps.
Oh no, it's
Very, very soft.
It looks
The stuff you get here is different.
It's lovely, but it's
Very, very soft.
Is it?
Come on, there you go.
Yeah. So this is now, as you can see, it's got a hole in the roof. And but this end is cool and it's open and it's dry and it's going to be the best workshop ever.
Ideal, isn't it?
Yeah. Look inside. It's the tiled, circular, dome built. Beautiful inside. Gonna have to go. Can't use it.
This is our electric water heater that we're going to use for the bath to supply the bathroom, shower, sink, bath, etc. It's 100 litres capacity. When you've mixed that with some cold water, that gives you about 140 to 150 litres. So that'll fill a bath comfortably. Just take these 2 bolts off and this bracket will just come away, and you can use that then to mark up on the wall and mark the mounting points. We found the centre of the bracket, lined it up with that, and then we just marked off the 2 mounting holes. Right, we're giving these holes a clean out. I'll just check these are stud bars we're using, and this is the bracket I've taken off the heater. I just want to use that to set up to see if that's straight or not. Alright. That's pretty much bang on there. To anchor these stud bolts, I'm using a resin system. These walls are made out of various bits of stone and cement and mud and all sorts of things. So it's unpredictable what you're drilling into. So what this does, it fills in all the cracks, any crevices, and it forms a solid plug, and it wraps around the bolt and holds it solidly in place. Comes in a tube like silicone. They normally come with 2 nozzles because the nozzles have a mixer in. And the problem is that once you start using it, it will go off in usually about 20 minutes, half an hour, it's starting to go off. So once you've started using it, when you take this off, you throw it in the bin. You can't reuse it again. And in here, there's 2 different elements. And they're fine as long as you don't mix together. And that's why you have the mixer in there. Open it up. Put that on. Oh. Now, as soon as you start using it, you've got a limited time. So have everything ready. Pump the stuff in. Put the stud bar into the wall. I've got everything laid out here. As soon as I put it in, they'll all be in within a minute. We're using 10mm stud bar. We've drilled 12mm holes, so there's room for this to grip in and fit around the stud bar. A few people have asked about some of the cracks that are around these walls. This one it's a settlement crack. You can see on the outside that it's been repaired and there's never been a crack since, so I'm not worried about that. You'll see this as it goes through, it mixes up. And basically you just want to fill these holes right to the back. If you haven't used a silicone gun and you want to stop it coming out the end after you pull the trigger, just press that and release the pressure. Usually works. And all you do, you just turn them as you're pushing them in. That's perfect. I will just leave that in place and that should do the job. Once you've used it and you've taken the nozzle off, throw it in the bin, don't bother trying to keep it. Put the cap back on. Eventually it will go off in the tube. There's nothing you can do about that. But if you put the cap on, there's a reasonable chance that in a few weeks it'll still be usable. It's really a one-shot thing. If you can, try and do everything you need to do in one go, or at least in the same day, because it will eventually go off in there anyway. If it's not opened, it'll sit on the shelf for years. Right, time for a cuppa, and then we'll come back and see how that's gone in a few hours. Okay, it's the next day, and these have gone solid, and we'll trim them to size now. If you're ever cutting something like this, damaging the end of a thread or something like that, run the nuts on first, and then when you cut them, when you take the nuts off, it'll straighten the thread again. Just make it easier to get on and off. Just take the sharp edges off. It's all going to be hidden behind a unit, so it's not about being pretty. It's about being safe and making it easy to get the nut on and off. That should be good. Now when we wind these off, it'll straighten out any deformity in the thread anyway. Once it's hooked onto the stud bar, just put a washer on, like that, and then I'm using nylock nuts. You don't really need to, but I've got them in the box. So that's just finger tight for now, just to stop it falling off. That's the tank in place. Oh, a bit heavier than I thought. Bolted down. We need to make all the connections on the bottom, but at least now we know where it is, we can run the pipes and the electrics to where it is going to be suitable for it. Ultimately, we are going to be building some cabinets along here, so we'll have a couple for storage and we'll have one box and this in. Oh. Next job. Oh, this is one of the windows in one of the bedrooms. We've got a window for it, but the closest size we could get was nearly 140 millimetres too small, height-wise. So we've built up the sill with some tijolo blocks. We're just going to put a little bit of render over the top of them. First things first, give them a spray down. Again, sort of nicely damp. And all we've got is a 5-to-1 mix of sand and cement. Right, let's get this in place. There we go. Put some foam around it, and then we're done. So it didn't take long. It's quite a big gap at the top, but that'll fill with foam, that's fine. That's why I leave these stickers on. It's easy to get the foam off afterwards. Work smarter, not harder. Hello. We've luckily been given a couple of bags full of oranges by a couple of friends of ours, which is great because we don't have any fruit and trees at the moment. We've planted an orange tree and a lemon tree and things like that, but they're too young to produce anything yet. Our friends Tony and Nicole and Mary have both big trees on their property, and they've donated some oranges, so we'll send a couple of jars of marmalade to them as a thank you. This is it's something I've done a few times and it usually comes out quite good. It's a simple recipe. It's based on an English marmalade recipe, so it doesn't have chunks of flesh in it or anything. It's basically the juice and little bits of zest I know a lot of if you look up marmalade recipes on the internet, you'll quite often find that they're basically chopped up marmalade in a syrup, and it's not what I think of as marmalade. Our first thing is we need 2 kilos of oranges. They don't have to be anything special, just any oranges will do. So, well, that's just over 2 kilos. The recipe calls for 1 large lemon, but we've got a couple of smaller lemons, so we'll use them. We also want some zest. I just find the potato peeler works great. Oh, look at them, they're gorgeous. And then we just juice them. And it's basically just rinse and repeat until you've juiced all of the oranges. I don't need zest off all of the oranges, but say the skin off about 6 or 7 or so. Every so often, just empty this tray out. As you juice these, keep hold of all the skins, because you're going to be using them to get the pectin that will make this jelly set. As well as the oranges, I'm going to take some of the zest from these lemons. These are quite tough, these ones. It's 2 different types we've got. We'll juice them as well. Right, that's about just under 2 litres. It's about 1 3/4 litres of orange juice. We take these and just cut them into smaller pieces. Quarters is perfect. As I said, we want to get all the pectin out of this, and some flavour as well, but we don't want them in the actual marmalade. So take a square of muslin, cheesecloth, and get as much as you can in. You probably won't get it all in, but as much as you can reasonably manage. And that can be put in the pan, and that will boil up with the rest of it. Now we've just got the zest to process. You can do this several ways. I find that I like nice thin shreds in my marmalade, so I find the easiest way is to just cut them like that. A bit repetitive, but it gives you the best results. If you like it thicker, do it thicker. This is for you at the end of the day. There we go. the orange juice in there. So what we'll add is all this sliced up zest. Just pop that in. As well as that, we want 5 litres of water. And we'll also drop in the bag of peels. Be gentle because it'll take a little bit for that to soak in. Then we just pop that on to boil and boil it for about 2.5 hours. We've transferred it to a larger pan, and now what we need to do is bring it to the boil and add 4 kilos of sugar. As you can see, that other pan wouldn't have been anywhere near close enough. Just bring that to the boil, and then once it's boiling, turn it down and just keep it at a rolling boil until the temperature gets to 105 degrees centigrade. Just give it a good stir just to make sure that the sugar dissolves. In the meantime, this bag of stuff has cooled down a bit. So what I'm going to do is leave it in this bowl, and I'll use a colander to press it. What I'm trying to do is squeeze as much of the juice out as we can. Let's see. We'll tip that into the pan. And just keep doing that until you're not getting any more liquid out of it. And then you can also try and squeeze it as well. That's probably still a little bit hot to do that with. Ow! Once the mixture has come to a boil, just keep it on a rolling boil like that until the temperature reaches 104, 105 degrees centigrade. Now I'm using a little digital thermometer. We just put that in. We'll see at the moment it's around about 100. As the water boils off, the syrup mixture gets stronger and it goes a higher temperature. So it's got a while to go yet. This has now been boiling for about 35 minutes. So we'll take another temperature check. Right, it's getting there. 102.5. Come back in 10 minutes. Right, it's been another nearly 15 minutes. So let's try it again. Yeah, I think that's good enough. 105. Right, plate out of the freezer. Yeah, I think that'll do. Now you see, it's reduced by about half. We're going to leave that now to cool for about 15-20 minutes. The jars have been sterilised in an oven, about 130 degrees centigrade. That will kill off everything. The lids have been sterilised in a pan of boiling water. They have a rubber seal on, so you don't put them in the oven. Just give it a bit of a stir. Pop lids on. As it cools down, the lids will suck down. You get that familiar pop when you open them. It's quite hot now. Just go around each of them, just give them a little nip up. That's what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 11, 12 full jars. Give that 10 minutes or so, and then just give it a shake upside down. Keep doing that every 15 minutes. That'll make sure that all the peel will distribute throughout the marmalade. See what that's like tomorrow. So here we have a bit of toast. I prefer margarine to butter, but you put whatever you want on. Homemade marmalade on toast. Lovely. See you next week. Bye now.